let's talk a little bit about occupational therapy. Occupational therapy helps children who are struggling with anything that has to do with their physical ability, their sensory skills, or their cognitive skills. So sometimes we might find that we are using activities such as the ones that I have here before me. This particular one has got shapes, and the child is able to match and put them together to build different three-dimensional objects. But you realize they're not firmly held together. So that will need the child to be able to have a bit of concentration, some sort of imagination. You realize that these have a circle in the middle, but these have a square in the middle. And I also have some triangles here. So there's a bit of care that will be needed as they are trying to make their different activities. So what does an occupational therapist do? An occupational therapist will help any child who is struggling with activities of daily living, because they want that child to become independent and to be able to do activities of daily living independently. So what do activities of daily living include? We are talking about being able to feed themselves on their own, being able to use the washroom on their own, dress themselves or undress themselves. These are the different activities of daily living. So an occupational therapist will help with activities of daily living. The occupational therapist will also help with sensory integration. So for example, if a child's senses, if his senses are heightened, then we say that that child is hyperactive. If a child's senses are rather dull and he does not respond to the senses the way we typically do, then we say the child is hypoactive. And either way, this child is going to need the services of an occupational therapist. So what are some of the activities that an occupational therapist will do? If a child is struggling with their small muscles, you will often hear teachers or therapists talking about big muscles and small muscles, but they use the terminology gross motor skills, which is big muscles, like the ones on our hands or our legs, and fine motor, which is what simply means small muscles, which is what we need when we are writing. So for example, in this activity, I am using my small muscles to be able to put the pegs on the board. And I can use different colors. We can also learn colors using this. So even the cognitive skills are being worked on. But there is something else that the occupational therapist can do with such an activity. They can help to build concentration, because you can see I have a number of pegs that need to be pegged on the board. So when you start with a child who's struggling with their concentration, you just start with a handful of pegs, and you can say to this child, today I just need you to peg just 10, and then the next time you can increase and have a few more. So this can help them work on concentration, and can also help them work on their pincer grip, and can also help them work on their colors.